Everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina, and welcome back to another Stampin' on Friday episode. Today we're going to be making a birthday card. My mother-in-law's birthday is coming up, so I wanted to get her card ready. I'm going to use my Big Shot today. My Cuttlebug, the plates have gotten so bad on it that at this point I can only cut cardstock, and I wanted to cut some felt. So I dragged on my Big Shot, and for the multi-purpose platform, which is this one right here, and I know they have another style of this now, I'm using it with all tabs down, so we're just going to go ahead and stick that in there. I have my one clear plate. I'm going to use the number, I think this is Fillable Frames, number 10 die from Paper Tray Ink. And then I'm also using some Paper Tray Ink felt, which is one of my favorite felts is Paper Tray Ink. And I'm just going to cut off a little piece. It comes in a roll. This is, I think this is Aqua Mist. The one thing I don't like is it doesn't tell you what color it is. So I'm just going to cut off about what I need. And my scissors are really, really dull. It's time for a new pair of Tim Holtz scissors here. I've had those for a couple years, so I think it's just time for new ones. So I have my die with the blade facing up. I have my piece of felt, and from Paper Tray Ink you can buy these metal shims, so you're going to want to use the metal shim. That'll help just cut through the felt all the way. And then your second plate, and we're just going to go ahead and run this through. Okay, and then we have our shape, and it comes out absolutely perfect. So that was with the number 10 fillable frame. Now we're going to use this Limitless Layers set, the 1 3/4 set. So I have the die, and then I'm going to use a piece of soft stone. It's a very, very light gray color. It may also look white on your screen. Excuse me, my allergies are in full force already for the fall. They come and go constantly here. Okay, so I have my die piece cut, and now we're going to go ahead and start our stamping and putting our card together. Okay, so I pulled out the 2011 birthday tags stamp set from Paper Tray Ink, and I pulled out a couple stamps. I'm really not sure which ones I want to use. I'm thinking I might want to use this one. It says, "It's your day." It does fit nicely inside this circle, but it kind of looks uneven to me. So the thing I was thinking about doing was, there's also this background stamp. It's a little bit bigger, which is fine with me. It's a little bit bigger than my circle. And then I have this stamp that comes in one piece, but I cut it apart a while ago just so I can use the sentiment. And I think that's what I'm going to use right in the center. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my background stamp, mount it onto my awesome stamp press here, and I'm going to test, oops, I got my felt there, I'm going to test stamp this a couple, just to see how the pattern looks with the background. If not, I think I might try the Aqua Mist as a background. So right now I'm just going to use the soft stone to see how that looks on the soft stone, and I actually kind of like that. Let me see how that looks on my pattern paper. These are my pattern papers that I'm using, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go, I don't know what I want to do. I think I'm gonna go with this. This is the soft tone, and it's actually gonna lighten up a little bit, so it's a tone on tone look. So I have my circle that I cut out. I have my stamp on my stamp press and my soft stone ink. I'm going to ink that up nice and well, and then just stamp this right onto that circle. And it does go over a little bit, which is fine because I want it to cover the whole thing. Okay, so I pulled out my Martha Stewart stamp press, so I'm just going to mount that on there. And I'm going to use my Jenny Bolin Brown Sugar ink. I use this ink all the time. It's one of my favorite browns. And I'm going to stamp "Wish You the Happiest of Birthdays" right in the center of my circle there, just like that. So let's go ahead and start putting our card together. I'm using my card base of cardstock. It's actually the soft stone, and again, it probably looks white on the screen, but it's a very, very soft kind of gray color. It's a standard A2 size card that opens from the top, and I cut out on my Cameo a banner shape, and that was this, and then I offset it with a kind of to make a shadow version of it, and just sized it so it fits perfectly right in the front of my card. So what I'm going to do first is adhere this down, and then I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and just put a little stitching edge around it. Okay, so I went ahead and sewed all around the edges of my banner. I kind of went off the edges a little bit right here. Sewing machine was going too fast, I couldn't control it. But that's okay. It's a homemade card. It's not supposed to be absolutely perfect. If it was, then I would have gone and purchased it. So what I'm going to do now is I want to create a little scalloped edge going on each side of the banner. So I pulled out my EK Success Bumpy Road Punch. This is absolutely one of my favorite scallop punches, and I like it because none of the scallops are actually even. And I'm just taking a piece of pattern paper, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I think I did, but I'm not sure. I'm using the Sweet Day Echo Park pattern paper. That's this one right here. And I absolutely love the colors in here. Such pretty colors. I use this a lot already. Half of the pad is already gone because I used it for another project I was working on. Okay, so I created my scallop border on each side, and this is what I love about that punch, is that it's all uneven. It's not absolutely perfect. So kind of goes along with my little mistake of sewing there. And I'm going to cut off a strip, and I did a punch on both sides so that I have since I'm using a word pattern paper, my words would be going in the same direction on each side. So I'm just trimming my pieces off here, cutting it down to about 3/4 of an inch, half an inch, somewhere right around there. And I'm going to take those two pieces and put them on each side of my banner. So they'll go right along the sides like this. So I think I'm going to add my adhesive right to the back of here. Oops. Try that again. So I'm just going to take this, line it up on the side, and I want to use my other one so my words aren't upside down. I almost did it. So just like that. And then I'm going to trim off the pieces that are sticking out, so it goes like this. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I added my scallops on both sides, and I'm now ready to go ahead and adhere this down to my card. And I think, actually I'm not going to adhere this down first. I'm going to do one more thing. I pulled out my We Are Memory Keepers grommets that I haven't used in forever, and I'm going to put 2 grommets on my banner. Pull out my crocodile here, and boy, I haven't used this thing in so long. I wonder if I remember how to use it. So the first thing I'm going to do is punch my holes. So I'm going to punch a hole in the top corner of each, just a little bit in from the stitching. I'm going to put my grommets in. Now this is one thing everybody asks, how do you know what setting to put it on? I don't, so I'm just winging it. Oops. That's one thing I can never figure out, is what setting these are supposed to be on. So, and that seemed to work fine, so as soon as I punch this one, I'll tell you what the settings are on this, which I can never figure out. So the top one is on D, I think. Oh, I'm sorry, it's on A. And the bottom one is on, I think it's 4. Okay, so that was just the settings that I used for that. I can never remember, like I said. Alright, so I'm going to take some seam binding, and I'm just using seam binding that I ordered online. I think I have company, but I'm not sure. So I'm just running my seam binding in the grommets. And let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and tie these. I wasn't going to tie it in a bow. I was kind of going to let it hang down, but I think I'll tie it in a bow. Alright, so we're just going to center this a little bit. Grab my good scissors for cutting. Okay, so that is the front part, and now what I'm going to do is use some dimensional adhesive on the back to adhere that down so it pops up off my card. This will get adhered right to the front of my card. I'm going up towards the top, just like so. So that's my card base so far. And now what I'm going to do is take my Aqua Mist piece of felt here, and I'm going to adhere that down. I'm going to try with a piece of dimensional adhesive. I've never tried dimensionals. If it doesn't work, I will just go ahead and put some glossy accents in the back, but it seems like it's holding. This is going to get centered right here. It actually holds up pretty nice. Perfect. And then I'm going to grab my glossy accents. So I'm just going to take my glossy accents and put that on the back of, this is actually crackle accents. Either way, it works. I'll put that on the back of my round sentiment here, stick that right to the front, just like that. And that's our card for today. Thanks for watching another episode. See you next time.